And you just see it right now on your right coming. 1996, again, a gift of American Society of Ephesus we have. On the way back, we stopped by here. First reason we are here, remember, not to make a picture of a modern statue. We are here to refresh our faith by the house of Mary. That's why I want to get there early as possible, to have the chance of visiting the church first and collecting all these two buses we have actually for the mass. For our group, which is like 78 people almost we are. Oh, there you go. Because remember, during the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, John, the Bible, the youngest apostle, and Mary were near to him. And do you remember what Jesus said to Mary for John? He is your son. And said to John for Mary that, behold your mother. So we know that Jesus entrusted to his youngest apostle to take care of the mother after himself. Am I correct? So we don't know what happened to Mary, but we know what happened to John. 6 years after Jesus, he traveled to the city of Ephesus. That's why we believe that he must be bringing Mary with himself, because that was the responsibility given to him by Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen. Is this enough to believe that she was here? Okay, but who knows that she was here? Is this recorded somewhere? Yes, in one place. Folks, have you heard about the first Christian councils after Constantine? First one was in the city called Nicaea. Have you heard about it? The Council of Nicaea? Let me show you. Where Nicaea? The Nicaea is a modern city in modern Turkey today called Iznik, which is like 6.5 hours with driving distance by the bus, or only 2.5 hours with my car. Not that far. Nicaea Council with the order of Emperor Constantine gathered there to discuss about the churches, about the Gospels, because there were over than 300 Gospels written after Jesus Christ, and there was no one Christianity, but there were different congregations and different churches. And Constantine wanted to end this, conclude this by discussing there. All the church leaders gathered, they collected all the Gospels, days and days, they discussed that, and they destroyed all the Gospels written. Except for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, been decided to create the Bible in Nicaea in 325. 1 century passed and Christians got confused again. Why? Because during the council in Nicaea, they called Jesus as the Lord, as the God. Okay, but if he is the God, who was Mother Mary then? She was the mother of a human, or she was the mother of the God? They wanted to discuss this, and they gathered another council in the year of 431 AD in the city of Ephesus where we were. And during this council, they recorded a sentence which is really important for us. They said, Ephesus, where the Theotokos was. Have you heard about Theotokos before? Theotokos, there you go, God bearer or mother of God, ladies and gentlemen. She had been called in this city for the very first time in the world, and said by the church leaders that she was here 1600 years before us. Is this enough to believe that? She was here? Okay, we believe that, but who says that house was there? Who found this place? That's another story. 200 years back, in the beginning of 1800s, there was a German nun who is called Anne Catherine Emmerich, or Anna Katharina. Have you heard about her? This lady was a bedridden nun who never been out of her bed, lived in a monastery entire of her life. And this lady suffered like Jesus did actually. She got a stigmatized nun, as we know. And she kept dreaming about Mary and Jesus Christ all her life long. The people in the church in the 1800s were not literate. They had no chance to record what she was talking about. That's why they invited a writer who is a German again, Clement Brentano, took notes about her life day by day. And after the death of Anna Katharina Emmerich, he converted all these visions of her into a book. And this book being released. This is like, I'm telling you again, beginning of 1800s. People forgot about Anna Katharina. People forget about the book. Years passed. Decades after, two fathers in Smyrna, only 1 hour away from us, got this book about the visions of the nun. And while they were reading the book, they seen one thing, that she was talking about Ephesus really detailedly, and she was describing a house where Mary was spending her time. and she was describing everything clearly by the view, location with the forest around. And these two fathers wondered that that was correct or not, and with the book in their hand, they traveled here. And they wandered around the hills that she was mentioning for days and days. And after a couple of days, they found the remains of a house, which is just the foundation part of it, on the, let's say, top of the hill by the woods. And the view, the location was right, exactly matching with the visions of the German nun mentioned in the book, decades before the mention. For me, this is a miracle. Why I believe in this? Because during the days, the Anna Katerina Emery was seeing this place in her dreams and mentioning about this place. Ephesus was not excavated yet, so nobody was knowing that Ephesus was here. So nobody was knowing that these mountains with remains around, and this was not actually known by the people. But Anna Katerina seen this before the excavations. And years after her death, two fathers found this place with the actually stories of her. This place converted into a small church later on and became a really well-known church, a small church after the 1960s, ladies and gentlemen. So what we're about to see is something modern, not ancient, on the top of the house of Mary, okay? And this place visited by three popes. First one, Pope Paul VI, in the year of 1967, he was here to celebrate the Mass. In the year of 1986, Jean Paul II traveled here, celebrated the Mass, and he declared the house of Virgin Mary as a pilgrimage site. So it is not my saying that this is a pilgrimage site, the saying of Roman Catholic Church leader Jean Paul II, ladies and gentlemen. And in the year of 2006, Benedict XVI was also here to pray for the rest of the congregation we have. Every year, one day it is incredibly crowded here, 15th of August, which is the Assumption date of Mary. More believers are gathering here to worship together, which is known as Dormition by the Orthodox Church. Now, get ready. Get whatever you need with yourself during our visit here, and I like to collect you outside of the bus first to be sure that you're all with me, folks, and I like to take you to the church. If there is no big line, there's no big queue, I like to get you into the church first while I'm trying to organize the fathers we have in here actually for the Mass we are going to celebrate. And after your visit, we will collect you all together with the other group members we have in this area, okay, to worship. Get your cameras, get your money, because we have also a nice cafeteria here after the Mass. If you save some time, you may have a coffee or you may collect some souvenirs from the association's shop in here too, okay? Perfect. All right. The ones